Welcome to the Switchboard YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing a new topic. Today we're going to be discussing whether Cooper Flagg should spend another year at Duke after this season. So let's get started. Cooper Flagg was a coveted piece when being recruited by Duke before he came to Duke this season. He was the number one ranked player in his class, and a lot of players, a lot of colleges wanted Cooper Flagg on in their program, on their roster. He decided to go with Duke, and it's been a successful start, a successful tenure with Duke at the moment. They're winning a lot of games. They've only lost 3 games so far, and Cooper Flagg has looked like a revelation. He's really blossomed. He's meshed with the players alongside Kaepernick, Proctor, Caleb Foster, Maluach. That's just to name a few of the players that he's been playing alongside who have also blossomed alongside him. Concanipo, my bad, Concanipo. They've just had a lot of chemistry. And sometimes when you see teams that have just come together, you wonder if they're going to have that chemistry, if they're going to flow together, if they're going to mesh together in the right way. But this team seems to have it all. They have the right balance. They have the size, a very tall team. They have the strength on defense, and they have the offensive power to overpower a lot of teams. And that's something that a lot of NBA teams are watching as they start to analyze prospects for the NBA draft, the 2025 NBA draft. And Cooper Flagg has recently said in an interview that he wouldn't mind. He's kind of like thinking about spending another year at Duke. My opinion on this is it's interesting. Should Cooper Flagg spend another year at Duke? I feel like if they win the national championship, or let's break it down even simpler, if they get to the Final Four, I feel like his team has done a tremendous job. His team has shown that they've shown that they can go all the way basically. And I don't know if they're gonna have this type of team again. Next year they've got the Boozer twins coming in, so they're gonna have a good team. But this team, this balance in this team, I don't know if they're gonna have this type of team again. So if I was Cooper Flagg, I would weigh in the factors of whether the team that he's gonna be around will suit him. Will allow him to blossom the way he's going to blossom. But sometimes playing with different talent allows you to learn what you mesh alongside with. So I think that's a good experience for him. Once you know what you mesh alongside with, you can really take advantage of your opportunities. But I think with college game, the good thing about the college game is when they're bringing in players, it helps you play with different style of young players. So when you're playing with different style of young players, you get to understand where your skill set will be optimized and where you would fit in best. So sometimes you're best suited to play alongside different type of talent. So you need a lot of shooters around you from the outside 3-point line. They have a guy right now, Slim. That's what I call him, Slim. Yeah, Slim is one of those players who really, Isaiah Evans, actually, that's his name. He's been an extremely good player, a player that can find his touch around the 3-point line, can get hot in a hurry. Him and Con have been excellent in spreading the floor, allowing the team to enjoy 3-point splurges at moments when they need scoring. At times you feel like you need someone to come in and really score a basket, and I feel like them two players have come in and really scored a basket when the team has needed it outside of Cooper Flagg. Maluach, he's been a presence. He's hit a couple threes. He's been able to space the floor tremendously just with his presence, because he can hit that 3 if he wants to, but sometimes he doesn't go for that. He goes for the interior, he goes for the pick and roll, rolls to the basket, gets that lob pass, His eyes are always observant. He's got a good touch, good eye for the ball. Um, his speed and timing are always excellent. So Cooper Flagg is playing around some excellent type of players. Some players of the highest degree. Uh, there's a couple of players I haven't mentioned. Just thinking off the top of my head, but it just shows you that he has got a good team around him. And I think if he was considering coming back for another year, he has to ask himself how many of these players will come back, how many of these players he's gonna have around him. And I think next year they have a good chance to win the national title as well. But you never know of a team, how things are gonna go. Sometimes the college game can be beautiful because you get to enjoy the game a lot more. You get the support from the fans, the crazies, the Duke fans, that's what they're called. And you get to enjoy the atmosphere, the love on campus, everything like that. Is just it's a different experience compared to NBA game. Now let's look at the NBA game. Now let's get to that point. The NBA game. Why should you consider the NBA and why shouldn't you consider the NBA? The NBA game is very interesting. The NBA game is very interesting because there's a lot of factors that go into the NBA game. How many teams in the NBA are actually contending for a title? Let's think about that for a second. How many teams are actually contending for a title? Is it 6 teams? Is it 7 teams? Is it 8 teams? How many teams are actually contending for a title? When they start the season, they say we're contending for a title. Let me look at it from this year. How many teams from the start of the season are contending for a title? So you have the Celtics. You have the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's just do the East first. You have the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's 3. You have let me think carefully. You have the New York Knicks. That's 4. I'm trying to think if there's any other teams contending for a title. Them 4. That's what I'm thinking so far. Now you have the West. You have how many teams are contending for a title? You have the Denver Nuggets. You have who else? The OKC Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then one more team. Let's just say, I'm trying to say the Houston Rockets, but they're not really contending for a title. They're just contending to get to the playoffs. Really, they're trying to get far in the playoffs, but not really a title. Who else? Let me think. So you're seeing the thing right here. That's 7 teams. Like, not many teams are aiming for a title. Sure, maybe the LA Lakers, I should say. That's 8 teams, but it's hard to name many, like 5, 6 teams that are contending for title in each conference, which shows you that teams are not really pushing for that title. They're really just pushing just to make the playoffs, just to be in contention, but not really trying to win the title. Because winning a title takes a whole lot. It takes your coaching to really be focused around winning. It takes your players, your roster to be really focused around winning. It takes your whole organization to be really centered around winning, and not even looking at the back and just looking back at maybe we can catch a high draft pick. You have to be really focused, really locked in. So that's a lot for a team, and I feel like a lot of teams shy away from that. So you have, if that's 8 teams, you have 22 teams just floating in the balance, maybe just trying to make the playoffs, maybe trying to get the best draft pick. So when you look at it like that, you start to see that when Cooper Flagg is looking at trying to go into the NBA, he's projected to go to the Washington Wizards with the number 1 pick. And now you start to see that if he goes to the Washington Wizards, what has he got to gain, really? What has he got to gain? Because when you look at it, when he's going to the Washington Wizards, he's going to be the number 1 draft pick. He's going to get paid the most as a draft player because he's the number 1 pick. But other than getting paid a lot of money and being called the number 1 pick, what is he actually going to gain? Is he just going to get an experience of just losing for a whole season, just having a losing season? Is that the process? But everyone has to lose to win. I had Stephen A say that you have to lose to win. That's the truth of the matter. It's true. MJ had to lose to win. Maybe he didn't lose playoff appearances, but he lost in the playoffs big time. And he had to lose to win. He lost against the Boston Celtics. He lost against the Detroit Pistons. He had to lose to win. He had to endure the losses for him to experience the wins. He had to go through that. So when you see it like that, you understand, okay, you have to go through it. LeBron, he had to lose against the Spurs. Yeah, he had to lose. He had to lose to win. You know what I'm saying? The sweep wasn't easy, but he had to lose to win. He had to go through the difficult times for him to reach the good times. So now when we're looking at this, we're asking ourselves, does Cooper Flagg really feel like he wants to lose? Like, he's gonna lose anyway. Like, you're gonna lose. You're gonna experience loss. But how do you want to experience that loss? Do you want to experience it in the Final Four, in the March Madness, or do you want to experience it in the NBA? People say going to the NBA is going to prepare you because you're playing against more physically gifted talent, players who are faster, stronger. But if the focus isn't right from the get go, like we're trying to win from the get go, if 22 teams are not focused on winning, why would you want to put yourself in a situation where you're centered around losing when you could be in an organization, in a program that's centered around winning, that's centered around trying to be the best? You can learn from the best in college basketball to try to be the best, and once you get that training and that education, you're a totally different talent, you're a totally different person, you come out stronger. So I can't blame Cooper Flagg for having that opinion, because I look at it and I say, who wouldn't want to experience that, to be honest? If you had the opportunity to win at a college level, you would want to win, because the NBA is a long process. Like, you're playing 82 games. At best, they want you to play 65 if you want to reach the end of season awards. So if you're playing 65 games in a season, college you're playing about 35, maybe 40, 35, at max 35, 36. So you're looking at that, that's 30 less games, that's less stress on your body, that's a lot less physical contact on your body. You're gonna have a longer career if you're having less physical contact, and you're maturing you're maturing into your body, you're getting physically stronger, you're getting bigger, you're getting physically better. It's a lot much more to gain than losing. So when I look at that, I understand why Cooper Flagg doesn't want to play in the NBA. But when we look at positives of the NBA, I could say if he gets drafted to the right team, he gets to experience what it's like to turn a franchise around. And I think there's not many places you can experience that. Even in college basketball, I've seen the Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper go to Rutgers, and I saw what they did there. And it's hard to replicate taking a franchise and taking a program and turn. It's hard to experience that. You can experience it to some degree, but college is a team sport to the point where you have to have some sort of talent. Your team has to come together, and it can be done. It can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done. It can be done. But I've realized that the NBA is the best place to really learn. You can learn at the pro level. I see Wemby, when he was at the Metropolitans '92, he had that experience of being a superstar on a team, and that was a great experience for him. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying that if you really want to experience turning a franchise up, to the from one point to another, I think the NBA is the best place to do it. So that's my opinion, but I think you can experience a lot. So should Cooper Flagg go to the NBA? I think to some degree he should consider it, because it can fast track his career, and it can push him in the direction of being a superstar one day, being an all-star, being an all-NBA player. That's the projections we have, but people have. I think he could be a very good player in the league, and I think he should definitely consider it. But if he wants to get his education, if he wants to experience just being a kid, like being a young adult, like you don't get that many times in your lifetime, to being a young adult where you get to enjoy life and just be young. And also with the NIL, I didn't consider that. In fact, you're getting paid like in college, so there's no rush trying to get to the league as fast as possible when you're getting paid through NIL. So when I look at it like that, I think to myself, why rush? Like, why rush? Like, you've got the chance to be great in college. Why not be great? Why not be the best version of you? So I know there's a rush, but next year it's not a top heavy draft class. You got the likes of AJ DeBanter and I think Darren. I'm not too sure, but you got a player going to Kansas who's second in the overall rankings, and he's been projected in the latest mock draft by ESPN or Draft Express to go number one in the NBA draft, and DeBanter has been projected number two, so he can still go top three. he can still go top 3 if he stays another year. He can still go top 3. So it's not bad to stay another year if you know you've got the potential to go top 3. And he just turned 18 in December. So I think it's late December. So he's not in a bad position. If he goes next year, he will be 19 in the draft. He'll still be young. He'll still be a teenager, and he'll be eligible to go to the draft. So it's not a bad option. So I think you should really consider staying another year, because why not? Why not stay another year? Why not get that experience? Why not get the challenge? Why not get the opportunity to really win something at the college level and even get your jersey retired? Because that's something our players dream about, and you can get that retired at the college level. Why not? Because he's playing exceptional right now, um, and I think it could really turn his career to new heights. And not everyone gets that opportunity. That's an opportunity that he has, and I hope he takes this season, our postseason, seriously, because he could really be a trailblazer for other players who are rushing to go to the league. But what are they rushing for? What are they rushing for? You know what I'm saying? What are they rushing for? You can wait, and you can really be a trailblazer and really be someone who can change the trajectory of the NBA. Like really, MJ spent 3 years at college. Um, uh, Plenty of players have spent a lot of time in college. So you don't have to be a Kobe. You can be a Michael Jordan. You can be um, other players who have spent a little bit more time in college. You can be a Magic Johnson, a Larry Bird, some other players who have spent a little bit more time uh, rounding on the craft and making sure that they're the best version of themselves before they get to the NBA. So yeah, I just want to hear your opinion. Leave your comments in the comment section. Leave a like, because it shows me that you're enjoying the videos and it lets me know what content to create. Subscribe if you're new, and thank you for tuning in to the Switchboard YouTube channel. I hope you've enjoyed the content, and I hope you come back for more content. And thank you for all the support and just tuning in. We're going to continue with this content, and we're going to continue being consistent and just producing content for you guys. So thank you.